Karl Popper's epistemology. The study of knowledge is the theory of what knowledge is, how we acquire it, and what different kinds there are. The clever word for the study of knowledge is epistemology. Now, I'll explain Karl Popper's epistemology by first explaining the traditional view. Ever since ancient Greek times, most philosophers have taken this view for granted. It is that knowledge is justified, true belief. Now, what do those mean? I'll explain them one at a time. First, belief. The traditional view, not Popper. The conventional view is that to have knowledge, you have to have a belief of it. It's not yet known how to cure cancer. The idea of how to cure it is not yet in anyone's mind. Because that idea is not known to anyone, it isn't knowledge. Knowing how to cure cancer means having a true belief about how to cure it. Next, they thought that knowledge has to be a true belief, not just any belief, because I could have a belief that this table is actually a giant banana, but that belief wouldn't be knowledge. To be knowledge, it has to actually be true. What does it mean to be true? Well, it means correspondence with the facts. For that belief to be true, the table has to actually be a giant banana, not just for me to imagine it is or cover it with a yellow sheet. By the way, by fact I don't necessarily mean just physical facts, but facts of any kind, including abstract ones like slavery is wrong. The last part of the conventional view is that when we say someone has knowledge, we don't just mean that they have a true belief, because it could have just been a coincidence. For example, say a madman killed a doctor in a hospital and takes his place. Since the madman loves the color yellow, he tells everyone to take the yellow pills, no matter what illness they have. One day, someone gets a disease and really does need the yellow pills to cure him. The madman tells him to take the yellow pills, just like the madman told everyone else, and the yellow pills cure the disease. The madman had a belief that this person should take the yellow pills, and it's true that the person should, but it was not justified. It was just a coincidence. The real doctor would have had a reason for his belief that the yellow pills would work. This is all just common sense, really. Justified, true belief. And common sense is always right, isn't it? So what did Popper think about all this? Let's start with belief. He told a story that went something like this. There is a virus that wipes everyone's true beliefs of engineering. Everyone in the world forgets all of their true beliefs of engineering, leaving only their false ones. When they try to build a plane, they make it out of cardboard and they find that it doesn't fly. After a while of doing this and trying to make it work, they decide to look at their books on engineering. To their amazement, they find that the information in the books doesn't correspond with their beliefs. It takes another while for them to decide that the books are actually right, despite what they thought before. In all this time, the world is at a standstill, engineering-wise, for about 3 years. After all that time, they finally get back their true beliefs, and the world can function normally again. Now, let's think of a slightly different story. It's exactly the same, except in this one, some evil aliens have stolen all the books on engineering too. This means that instead of getting really confused and going to look at the books to get their true beliefs back, they get really confused and they stay really confused until they reinvent the whole subject of engineering. They have to start from scratch, so this could take decades, even centuries. So why did it take so much longer in the second story? Because the books had knowledge. Books don't have beliefs, but they do contain knowledge. So knowledge isn't a type of belief. There are already known problems with justification. If literally everything has to be justified, then to have a theory, you have to have another theory to justify it. But that theory that justifies it also needs justification, and that theory needs justification, and so on. This is called an infinite regress. Or you could justify a theory on something that has its justification on the original theory. For example, take the idea, helping people makes you happy. Why does it make you happy? Because it's good. Why is it good? Because it makes you happy. This is called a circular argument, which is a fallacy. Or maybe there are some foundations to all our knowledge, i.e. self-evident theories, theories that don't need justification. Then, well, why did you pick that foundation and not another? For example, say that you believe in God because it's your faith. Your faith is your foundation to your belief. But other people have different faiths, so having faith in something can't justify it, because people have different faiths in different things which contradict each other. So some of them have to be false. If you believe that knowledge is justified true belief, what this lends you to do is spend your time trying to prove that your beliefs are right, to justify them. Popper takes the opposite view. He thinks that instead of focusing on what is true about our beliefs, we should try to look for problems in them and try to correct those problems. For example, say you have a belief that killing is wrong. Okay, well, does that include in self-defense? Or animals? Or bananas? Popper thinks that you should think about these things, try to poke holes in your own theories, and try to fix them. People who believe in justification devote all of their effort in trying to prove that they're right, for instance by finding it in their Bible or showing that it would be best for most people. Popper devotes his effort into trying to criticize his beliefs to get better ones. So, truth is correspondence to the facts. This is the traditional view of what truth is, and this is what Popper thought it was. He agreed that this was right. However, modern philosophers try to do things like change the definition of the word, or try to trash the whole idea of truth. This is silly, because if you take someone with the view that there is no truth, but there is something else, like someone just using language to achieve something, then what does it mean to say that? If you ask that person, why should I believe you, if you're just using language to achieve a purpose? And they agreed that that's what they're doing, then I could just say, okay, well, I declare that you are on Pluto, nowhere near here. According to you, that's as true as anything you've just said. So anyway, truth is correspondence to the facts, and truth is objective. Now, when Popper says that we're trying to find the truth, he doesn't mean that we're looking for the final, end-all, we're sure we're right truth. We can't be looking for a truth that we're sure about, because first of all, we could always be mistaken. And secondly, trying to find the final truth is trying to find a foundation, which now we know can't work. And we can't be looking for a final, complete truth, which means that we can stop trying to make progress in that area, because we can always improve our current understanding. What we actually do is take our existing theories and try to find out what's wrong with them. We do this by criticizing them and trying to find problems and errors, and then trying to correct them. We correct errors in our theories by coming up with new ideas or theories that we hope won't have those problems, or we edit ideas that we do have in the hope of making them better by correcting errors. When we correct an error, the new version of our theory contains more truth than the old one. That doesn't mean that the old one was completely useless. It still has a lot of truth in it, and it could be useful in many ways. Also, the new version might not be totally true either, but at least it's better than the old one. What we're doing is trying to make our theories closer to the truth. Not the final truth as justified true belief would be, and not certain truth as justification is trying to get. This means that any one theory contains knowledge. Theories can contain more or less knowledge even when they're wrong. Summary of the amazing epistemology of Popper. What is knowledge? Knowledge is useful truth. Knowledge is something that explains something or solves a problem. We get knowledge by criticizing our existing theories. Now, to remind you what his criticisms of the conventional view were, here are some bullet points. Justification has an infinite regress. Truth is objective and corresponds with the facts. We can feel we're absolutely sure that our belief is right and still be wrong. Anything that we use to justify theories might be mistaken. We're not looking for a final truth. There's always room to improve. There's knowledge in books, so it can't be just belief. The end!